Well, now that summer is upon us, the Occupy Wall Street movement must think of a more effective form of protest than camping. To be considered a real movement, it has to start moving asses off the streets and into the voting booth. Occupy's motto is, "The only solution is world revolution." Okay. What about setting our sights a little lower, like taking back Wisconsin? Now, last fall, I must admit that I, too, got caught up in the Occupy Wall Street excitement. I went down there, I chanted, I held a sign, I shared some sacred herb with members of a drumming circle. But strangely enough, it turns out that having a sleepover in the park for 4 months didn't cause Wall Street to crumble. And that's not because Occupy didn't have the right message. It did. That America's wealth is increasingly in the hands of a tiny kleptocratic priesthood of finance cowboys and the politicians they buy, protected by a free fire zone of rules they wrote themselves, feeding on the republic from within like a transcontinental tapeworm the size of Route 66. Sure, I'll give you that. It's just, I think it was Gandhi who said, "The park? Again? Really?" I mean, no offense, but we tried the whole sit outside until we get our way thing, and it went over like Paris Hilton's music career. Because what does taking over a park really achieve, besides forcing anonymous gay sex back into the bathhouses? And besides, the people who recently bought Facebook stock, they need someplace to sleep now. Now, if you think I'm being too mean about this, go to the Occupy website. It says that their big plan this year is to have a national gathering on July 4th, and I quote, "to facilitate a visioning process designed to allow all voices to be heard while allowing repeat visions to organically rise to the top." I don't know what the fuck that means. But on July 5th, the Occupy Wall Street Guitarmy, yes, a guitar army, they promised to march from Philadelphia to New York singing folk songs. Oh. So take that, Wells Fargo. You foreclose on my house, I'm going to hit you with 187 choruses of Tom Dooley. Here's a thought. Instead of organizing interstate hootenannies, maybe it's time for Occupy Wall Street to actually participate in the American political process. That means boring stuff like canvassing neighborhoods, raising money, running candidates for office, manning phone banks, and making a baby with John Edwards. I know it's a lot harder work than learning the chords to Kumbaya, but it seems to be working for the Tea Party. I mean, think of it. 3 years ago, the Tea Party was just a few hundred retired diabetics angry at blacks and gays for making them feel old. But now they have 62 seats in Congress, and before John Boehner makes any decision, he first has to go outside to the National Mall and ask the former mental patient dressed as George Washington for permission. And that's because the Tea Party took it to the next level. They mobilized, they put on a nice shirt and their best teeth, and they got out there. And they got out there and they drafted candidates, registered voters, and did all the stuff that when the left does it, it's called using the methods of Saul Alinsky. The Occupy movement could do the same thing for the Democrats. In fact, we need Occupy to be our Tea Party, an unwavering bloc that will force things to the left as relentlessly as a new pair of jeans with a tight inseam. A solid block of far-left, intractable Democratic congressmen who Obama can point to and say, you know, I'd love to renew your Bush-era tax cuts, but I have to deal with these crazy motherfuckers. All right, that's our show. I'll be at the Palace Theater in Columbus, Ohio, June 16th. And I want to thank my guests, John Waters, E.J. Dionne, Michael Brendan Doherty, Gambisa Moyo, and Susan Burke. Don't forget to watch us now on Overtime. Thank you, folks.